And as regional efforts to end the conflict intensify amid rising tensions, Pakistan says it is preparing to host what it calls meaningful talks to help end the Iran conflict. The announcement comes despite Tehran accusing Washington of planning a possible military ground operation while simultaneously pushing for negotiations. Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar revealed that regional foreign ministers met on Sunday to explore ways to secure an early and lasting end to the war. The discussions also focused on the possibility of U.S. Iran talks taking place in Islamabad in coming days.
Pakistan said on Sunday it was preparing to host meaningful talks in the coming days to end the conflict in Iran. This comes after Iran accused the U.S. of preparing a land assault while seeking negotiations. Pakistan's Foreign Minister Ishaq Dar said he and other foreign ministers in the region met on Sunday to discuss possible ways to bring an early and permanent end to the war, as well as potential U.S. Iran talks in Islamabad.
Pakistan will be honored to host and facilitate meaningful talks between the two sides in coming days for a comprehensive and lasting settlement of the ongoing conflict.
It was not immediately clear if the U.S. and Iran had agreed to attend. Initial discussions between Pakistan, Saudi Arabia, Turkey, and Egypt had focused on proposals to reopen the Strait of Hormuz to shipping, sources familiar with the matter said. Iran's effective blockade of oil and gas shipments through the strait since the U.S. and Israel began attacking the country on February 28th is spreading economic pain around the world. Washington said last week it had offered a 15-point ceasefire plan with a proposal to reopen the Strait of Hormuz and restrict Iran's nuclear program. Tehran has rejected the proposal and put forward alternatives of its own. An Israeli official said Israel would continue carrying out strikes against Iran on what were described as military targets, adding there was no intention to scale back the campaign ahead of any possible talks between Washington and Tehran.
Meanwhile, Iran says it is ready to respond to any U.S. ground offensive, accusing Washington of preparing for military action even while pursuing negotiations. In a message to the nation, Iran's Parliament Speaker Mohammad Qalibaf said Tehran will not back down, adding that as long as the U.S. seeks Iran's surrender, the country will never accept humiliation. Take a look.
Iran said on Sunday that it was ready to respond to a ground attack. That's as it accused the U.S. of preparing a land assault even as it sought negotiations. In a message to the nation, Iran's Parliament Speaker Mohammad Qalibaf said that as long as the Americans seek Iran's surrender, our response is that we will never accept humiliation. Washington has dispatched thousands of Marines to the Middle East. The first two contingents arrived on Friday, the U.S. military said, aboard an amphibious assault ship. The Washington Post quoted U.S. officials as saying the Pentagon was preparing for weeks of ground operations in Iran, though whether President Donald Trump would approve such a deployment remained uncertain. Meanwhile, talks were being held in Pakistan in a bid to end the fighting that has killed thousands of people and caused the biggest ever disruption to global energy supplies. That's after, on Saturday, Yemen's Iran-aligned Houthis launched their first attacks on Israel since the start of the conflict. Those strikes point to a potential new threat to global shipping. During the Gaza war, the Houthis hit ships in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, a critical maritime choke point leading to the Suez Canal. Analysts say renewed attacks there would pile further pressure on the world economy. Iran has continued its attacks on Israel and several Gulf states, while Israel's military has also continued its relentless air assault on Iran. On Sunday, Israel said its forces had targeted Tehran's weapons manufacturing industry, including dozens of storage and production sites the day before. It also continued to hit targets in Lebanon as part of its campaign against Hezbollah. That included killing 3 Lebanese journalists in a strike on a media vehicle, Lebanon's El Manar TV reported, as well as a Lebanese soldier. Israel's military said one of the journalists had been part of a Hezbollah intelligence unit.